In your penultimate home game as Liverpool manager, sun was shining, crowd were in good voice, and did we see a proper Liverpool performance?
Well, maybe that.
Let's not do this.
Sounds like an offence. No, you're right. It was a bit what high performance things. You need a reason. You need a spark to why go for it. I would say it's enough to go for 3 points, but you never know. And the boys showed today it's enough to go for 3 points to make this place a special place. Somebody told me before the game, if we win all three, we can achieve the 5th highest points tally of all this great Liverpool sides who were here. Well, is that the real reason for everybody? I don't know. For me, it is. So let's try it. We will try.
For you today, it's a penultimate home game, so I can't keep doing that.
That's a great word. Love it. Yeah.
Is it starting to get emotional for you, or are you still business mode?
No. I would be alive. I'm now completely would say I'm the highest level and bam, I want to do this and that. I cannot pretend like that. But I was not emotional today because I now have another one. So that's how it is. I know that Wolves will be tricky. It will be a tricky day. I don't know how we thought that, but it's in 2 weeks' time. Why should I worry today? For now, it's good. I don't have to say it all the time. I love absolutely everything about this club. But yeah. We will see how that day will be. Maybe we are lucky and it's pouring down like crazy, so we cannot stay outside after the game.
Starting for this football club, then it is fantastic. We talk about the type of football he's played. It's been very entertaining. He's given young players a chance. They're back competing at the highest level. He's won some of the biggest prizes. He's also missed out. He's been close. So it's a proper, obviously, roller coaster for him. And he spoke about his emotions there, but I think one of his strengths is that he's an emotional guy. We see that on the sideline with him. We see him in his interviews. He's a very honest manager. He doesn't play, I don't think he plays too many games. He's not like this robot after games where he's almost just media trained. He seems a very honest manager, and I try and picture myself if I was a player back in the day. I think I'd like to play for this guy. I think that's the way I look at it. I think he's a world-class manager. He deserves a break because I think managing a big club is obviously very draining. So enjoy his break. He's been an amazing manager. I hope he does get a couple of decent results over the last few weeks. I can say that now because I know they're not going to win the league title. I might have been saying that a few weeks ago. But to leave on a bit of a high, they've won a trophy this year. They're back in the Champions League. It's not a complete kind of disaster for them in that sense. And enjoy your break, and I'm sure he'll be back at a big club next year and the year after.
It's interesting that the choice of words that he used to describe him as a manager being emotional. He's used those words himself this week, a manager that skills are about the emotion, the energy he puts into his performances on the sideline, the work he does in the training ground with the players as well, and it's delivered trophies. It's delivered every major honour for Liverpool.
In many respects, he's added so much to the game. Like Roy says after a game, I think he calls it spot on. He's never insulted fans' intelligence. Of course, if you're not a Liverpool fan, he might have wound you up at times, but you still have the utmost respect for him because you love the way Liverpool played. There's always a high energy. They always give 100%. He treats his players extremely well, it seems. He doesn't tend to fall out with too many of them. They all want to play for them. You never hear murmurings of a player fallout. If it is, it's quashed very quickly, like Salah was.
That's why it was so rare last week, wasn't it?
But it didn't last long. He played him again, you know, and he's although I can imagine he's a big man, he's got maybe a big ego, that's never got in the way of what's the best for the team. And you talk about great managers in the Premier League, he's certainly up there with them, even in the world. I mean, his record is as good as anybody's. And he faced a juggernaut in Manchester City. It's been incredibly difficult in that respect because they'd have won a lot more trophies. But he will leave as an absolute legend, not just in his club, but as a Premier League legend as well.
They play to win. They play to win Liverpool every week. You know, we see a lot of managers, there's tactics and there's risks and pressure on these managers, of course. But every time you see him, he's out there to win games. He doesn't really park the bus. He's not that negative manager where he's thinking, we'll sit in. There's been times, of course, where they've had to do that when they're up against brilliant teams, whether it be Europe against Man City. But when he turns up, his mindset you can see, and that's reflected in the way the teams play, that high-risk football. Liverpool are there to win football matches.
Yeah. Danny, I think I was going to agree with what Roy's saying there because throughout my time, you know, at Liverpool with him, we never once went into a game thinking we couldn't win or there was a negative mindset on the approach. It was on the front foot. It was believing in your abilities, believing in the systems that, you know, the system that is set up for that game, the tactics we've done through the week. He'd make everyone be told he'll be sorely
Can I ask
missed.
you a question? When he first came, do you remember like any incredible speeches or anything that he said? Was there anything that made you stand? Did you think at that time this guy's going to be here for 8 years and absolutely change Liverpool Football Club again?
I think it was probably just hearing his voice on the training pitch, weirdly enough, like the way in which he used to give the messaging, it was like it resonated with everyone. And I think that's one thing that is difficult to do, where the players literally buy into everything he's saying. It's hard to have the players like on the edge of their seat, like we're going to run for a brick wall for this guy.
And was there a bit of fear there as well, do you think?
I think so, for sure. But I think every top manager, I think it's teetering on the line of like fear and respect. You know, like having a bit of both, like a bit of fear of the manager, but you've got the utmost respect, and he has the respect for you, because I think in the end, it's like the players have to respect the boss. The boss needs to command the respect of the players, and if that goes out the window, I don't think there's much success that follows that. Yeah. So you've got to have control of the situation, and he's controlled this situation. We talked about the instance with Mo last week, complete later. Mo comes and performs well, the manager pushes it out, but it's just like everything's just flowing, and I think he'll be sorely missed. You know, the fans, the club, everyone will miss him.
What shape does he leave Liverpool in, Daniel?
Well, I mean, you know, we were talking about contract.
The conversations will be going on with him and saying, right, who do you want to keep? Now, I can only imagine Thiago will be obviously leaving, maybe going somewhere else. Joe Matip with injuries, obviously had a great career here. The main one is your captain, Virgil van Dijk. You know, what are you going to do with him? You know, that's a really key one. He'll obviously have respect for him as a player. And Mo Salah, I think, I wouldn't be surprised if Mo Salah goes in the summer. I can see that now. He's 32 in June. I wouldn't be surprised if, and I think with Liverpool maybe getting the money, the right money, and they're not going to say they're going to sell him. I could just see, he looked like he was going to go last year.
Treasure that will want to come in, as we've seen at various different clubs, and want to buy players that fits into his system. And with the contracts and those types of things that are going to be running down, it's going to be a transitional phase, I would say. I don't know if it will be seamless.
Let's have a look at those.
How do you follow it? I mean, that's the thing, David. You've got, if you only got to look in history, you've got trying to follow Sir Alex Ferguson, trying to follow Arsene Wenger. It's been impossible, really. And even now, you look at how long it's taken for those clubs to transition and win, you know, titles since. And it's going to be the same with Jurgen Klopp. Now, the one that I guess, he would never say it publicly, but if it is Arne Slot coming in, I'm sure he thinks to himself, I'm really pleased they've not won.
Now, would you be fighting to keep Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah beyond the 18 months they have left?
Yeah, you would try, but obviously a new manager's got to get into the building and get a feel for the group of players. Salah's an interesting one, because again, sometimes a player might say, listen, I've had my time here, I want a new challenge. But of course, the key is getting your top players signed up, and you can't be letting them walk out the door and they're free. But there'll be lots of changes. New manager, new staff coming in. There's obviously been changes at board level. Who's going to be making the decisions? So it's certainly a big summer coming up for Liverpool Football Club, without a doubt.
We've spoken so much about how well Liverpool's been run. I'm actually amazed that so many of those players have sort of got to a year left of their contract. You know, especially, you know, you look at Trent, who's only 25.
The players are in control of that, Jamie.
Yeah.
The players are in control. Maybe they have been approached by the club over the last few months, but some players say, I'll wait till the summer, and the agents, they play all these games.
Not rarely you get to 1 year, though, is it?
Well, but it happens. But the players are in control of that. It's not up to Liverpool. The players will decide when they're going to sit down and discuss contracts, or if they're going to stay on. Players are in total control, particularly when you get to last year. They're in total control of the situation, not Liverpool, so it'll be up to the players. Not Liverpool, so it'll be up to the players.
End of an era, but there are some big decisions ahead, clearly, for those behind the scene, pulling the strings.